Good morning, everybody. Where's my band? the band is missing in action. Oh, here comes Doug. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living in the heart of Las Cruces. I'm Sarah Benson, and we're going to get started with a couple of songs. Where's our other band? Okay, here she comes. I invite you to stand if you'd like. If not, that's cool. Let's sing together.
You are sacred love is all that you are. You are sacred love, God, sacred love is all that you are. You are sacred love is all that you are. You are sacred love, God, sacred love is all that you are. Show the way, God, show the way. I want to live in such a state of grace. Lead the way, God, lead the way. I want to live in such a holy place. Such a holy place. You are blessed peace is all that you are. You are blessed peace, God, blessed peace is all that you are. You are deepest joy is all that you are. You are deepest joy, God, deepest joy is all that you are. Show the way, God, show the way. I want to live in such a state of grace. Lead the way, God, lead the way. I want to live in such a holy place. Such a holy place. You are sacred love is all that you are. You are sacred love, God, sacred love is all that you are. Sacred love is all that you are. Sacred love is all that you are. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. Less than beautiful. How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How deeply you're connected to my soul.
Good morning, everyone. Beautiful song to start the day off with. Welcome, everyone. I'm Reverend Bonnie, the community spiritual leader here at the center, and I'd like to welcome you to our Center for Spiritual Living in the heart of Las Cruces, where our vision is a world in loving partnership for the good of all. And if you're visiting for the first time, we have visitor packets, looks like just at that door now. You're welcome to pick one up. It has a gift certificate to the bookstore in it as well, and a way to get signed up to get our newsletter. And the book study that we are just starting on community started Thursday from 4 to 5, but you're still welcome to jump in and join us. If you need a book, let me know. We'll start ordering some more. We did discover that some of us had the first edition and some had the second, and we're going to be working out of the second so we can get some more of that edition. If you want to buy your own, or let me know and we'll get you one. And next Sunday, the first Sunday in April, we will start collecting things for our April treasure sale, which will be April 29th. And if you would like to help sort and price, Kayanne is helping Janice, and Kayanne's here today. You can let her know. Let us know, and the more help they get, the quicker and easier the whole process goes. We're also beginning to think about our annual meeting, at which time we will have several new board members, several of them completing their term, and that means several spaces for new board members. You need to have taken at least one class and be a member at the center. If you feel a calling to serve in that way, please let us know, Bob or myself, and we will give you an application to join the board. We've got some wonderful stuff coming up. And that being said, we're putting some new members in the works right now today. We are so excited every time we have new people ready to join us here at the center. So what does it mean to be a member? It is a commitment to spiritual growth in an atmosphere of freedom to grow spiritually at your own pace and to evolve your own working philosophy of ideas and beliefs. And I invite you to listen to this even if you are a member and just sort of recommit as you hear these words. It is a commitment to building a life of joy, ease, and love in an environment where we recognize and embrace the importance of spiritual community in supporting and empowering our personal journey. What naturally flows is a growth of our spiritual community. It is an affirmation of alignment with the philosophy and teachings of the science of mind. It is an open statement in one's belief that their spiritual center is of great value, personally. It is having a sense of ownership in our center and expressing that ownership through sharing of time, talent, and treasure, and recognize all that they are doing in that capacity. So at this time, I'll ask our board president, who has many hats on today again. We're going to have people come to the front down at the bottom of the steps so that we can have access for everyone. Two of the people that we're going to join today, once again, are not here, so we will maybe get them in the next round. But today, Bridget Austin and Charles and Tenny Fisher are coming forward to the front. Yay! Yay. And so as we go through this ceremony and this commitment to join, you can turn around and, face outward. This is both a joyous occasion and a contemplative one. By choosing to become a member of this center, you are making a commitment to grow spiritually and to focus this growth in fulfilling your dreams. For this is a place that believes that the spiritual power we seek already lives within us, eager to be discovered and expressed. So do you declare your commitment to grow spiritually and express this growth in fulfilling your dreams? You have each responded to the call of Spirit, whose desire it is to express its greatness and magnificence through you and to grow and expand your spiritual community. You are living proof that when Spirit has a desire, its creation automatically responds. You are the living, breathing demonstration of God in action at the Center for Spiritual Living here in Las Cruces. In the words of Ernest Holmes, our founder, and the essence of our teaching is the following: all is God or Spirit, and God or Spirit is all there is. As you believe, so it is done unto you. Our duty in life is to love and live fully. And when you change your thinking, you change your life. By becoming a member, you are committing yourself to further exploring this universal truth teaching, this pathway that Ernest Holmes chose to call religious science or science of mind, a teaching that is now known through its Centers for Spiritual Living. So do you declare your commitment to study and application of this universal truth teaching as you come to understand it? By becoming a member, you are helping to make a difference in the world, and you are joining with like-minded people all over the world who share a common vision. You are joining people of all faiths that fully embody the universal truths shared across all religions, ancient and new. Here at the Las Cruces Center for Spiritual Living is a place where people grow, and we do that by teaching and practicing the universal spiritual principles captured in the Science of Mind as we live our vision, a world in loving partnership for the good of all. Do you support this vision? Our desire is to live life fully and consciously through inspiration, education, spiritual community, and service. We do this through 5 main spiritual practices: receptive prayer or meditation, affirmative prayer, also called spiritual mind treatment, spiritual study, service, and conscious giving. Do you support and hold in your heart the desire to live life fully in this way? We are a spirit-centered community of light, love, and laughter that honors and celebrates the many paths to God. We celebrate the diversity of all people, of all religions and walks of life. Do you support the celebration of life in this way? Please sign our membership book, and as you sign it, our board president will hand you a rose symbolizing your inherent beauty and divinity and give you your name tag. Yes, you get your name tag. Oh, careful. Oh, good. Good catch. Good catch.
Okay, here you go. No, that's yours.
Those are yours, yeah. And you want to
Whatever.
you want to give them their name tags?
Oh, yeah, I got them in my hand. I'm sorry. Yep. Thank you so much. There you go. Welcome. Glad you guys are here.
Yeah. Hold on, we're not done. We're not done with you yet. Are you picking your rose? Yes. Perfect. I know. So then turn around and we'll get a picture of all of us together. Yes. So you now have the rights and responsibilities of voting members of this spiritual community. We encourage you to attend our business meeting, which is coming up in May, to cast your vote, and our visioning sessions to contribute to the overall vision and direction of the center. And so now, to all of you in the community, please rise as you are able. Do you agree to be these new members' spiritual family, to welcome them and support them on this journey to which they have just committed? In recognition of the commitment you have made to your spiritual growth and to the growth of our center, it is our joy to welcome you into our spiritual family. So now you can just sort of greet each other as you walk on through and go back to your seats. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. And here, you want to... And you're up. Thank you.
Thank you. Ta-da! Oh, there it goes on my earring. Anyway, good morning. And just another welcome to our 3 new members. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your commitment. I remember the first day I walked in here and my life has never been the same. So I know that for you as well.
Ours haven't either.
Since I walked in? I love you. And my name is Teresa Valenzuela. I'm a licensed practitioner here in the center, at the Center for Spiritual Living, in the heart of Las Cruces. Feel your heart? Yeah, that's that oneness that we all are. Oh, I have a script. I haven't been up here in a while, so thank you. We believe in the power of prayer, which we call spiritual mind treatment or affirmative prayer. Please fill out a prayer request, which can be found in pockets on the chair backs. There is a God can at the back that you can put your prayer request in as you leave the room. We also have a prayer request button on our website, so it gets to the prayer circle, which gathers together on Tuesday afternoons. The 4 local New Thought communities come together over Zoom, and we pray with you for that which is already flowing out in your life. And also there is gratitude cards in the chair back, so we'd love to hear all the wonderful, beautiful things that are coming into your life through prayer and meditation and contemplation. So please let us share. Please let us celebrate all of the good stuff in your life as well. Now it is time. Oh, excuse me. One more thing. Right after service, if you would like for us to pray with you together as one, those of us who have stoles are here to do that with you, and we'll be up here in front after service. As we pray with you, that shifts our own life. So very selfishly, I invite you to come see us. Now it is time for song, silence, and prayer.
I am remembering who I am. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering. I am remembering. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering. I am remembering. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering who I am.
And so I invite all of us to step into that place, that space of love, laughter, light, all flowing out through law. And knowing that we are in the exact perfect place at the exact perfect time, and just feeling that heart opening more and more, that expansion. That all the goodness that Spirit is, that divine creative mind, is already one with and in and through us. And that we are the channel for all of that to radiate out from within and shift our own lives as we allow that out into the world to shift this dimension that we call life, that we are in at this moment. And so grateful, so grateful, so grateful for all the hands and ears and eyes that bring this morning and make it a possibility that we come bringing gifts, our own gifts from within us, to exchange with the gifts of our speaker, with our musicians, with our minister, and with each other. And so just releasing these words and thoughts, knowing it is already done, it is already in perfection, I just say out loud from my heart, and so it is. And I have a reading. Am I doing better, Judy? Okay. I tend to not speak very clearly, so I'm being very aware of that. So the reading, thank you very much, Liliane, is from the book I Am That. And it is talks with Sri Nisargadatta. And this is the reading that has been chosen for us this morning. The seeker is he who is in search of himself. Give up all questions except one. Who am I? After all, the only fact you are sure of is that you are. The I am is certain. The I am this is not. Struggle to find out what you are in reality. To know what you are, you must first investigate and know what you are not. Discover all that you are not: body, feelings, thoughts, time, space, this or that. Nothing concrete or abstract which you perceive can be you. The very act of perceiving shows that you are not what you perceive. The clearer you understand that on the level of mind, you can be described in negative terms only, the quicker will you come to the end of your search and realize that you are the limitless being. And so it is.
I think this song, which I wrote some years ago, speaks to some of that. How many times do I say I am love? My mind is the garden I seed. I water and nurture and choose what I grow, so as many times as I need. How many ways do I say I'm divine? How many ways do I know? There's nothing I wouldn't do for God, nowhere that I wouldn't go. Well, I've spent a lifetime looking for God, climbed every hill I could see. Well, I doubted myself and I judged way too hard. All the while God was in me. I think about everything I've done and everywhere I've been. How can I love myself here and now if I cannot love where I've been? Something is stirring my deepest soul, awakening to the sun. I've learned to embrace this garment of light, to receive the radiant one. I've spent a lifetime looking for God, climbed every hill I could see. Well, I doubted myself judged way too hard. All the while God was in me. God is living as me.
And that beautiful voice on top of Sarah's that we know every week is Liliane Pilot, who is also our guest speaker today. Many of you already know her. She is an artist, a writer, a speaker, a teacher, and musician. For 10 years, Lily was part of the CSL Music Ministry in Edmonton, Canada, and earned her practitioner's license in 2012. She also trained in the use of sound and music in healing, was a licensed practical nurse, and a bunch of other things, all of which you can read about on the website, and all of which have informed her spiritual journey. She now runs a nature retreat and art gallery with her husband Doug, about an hour and a half from here, 2 hours from here, up in the mountains. And she is nestled in the loving arms of the Center for Spiritual Living in Las Cruces. We were so lucky when she moved to town several years ago. Please help me welcome once again Liliane Pilot.
Bonnie always wants me to tell her whether or not I'm going to do the treatment prayer after the talk, and I never really know for sure. She's going to have to wait and find out like I do. Cultivating authenticity. I always thought that sounded funny. Cultivating, growing, something that is already there. Terry Lund used to say, "I'm here to comfort the afflicted and afflict the comfortable." And Dennis Merritt Jones comes at this from another direction. True self-awareness means being aware that we are aware even when it may not feel good. Now, neither of these comments suggest ease. And I think that's maybe why we keep trying to buck the system. I've been warming to the idea that I am capital A authentic just as I stand before you. I don't have to keep looking for the right version of myself to be divine. God expresses as me right here, right now. No matter what we do, how we behave, what we learn or don't learn does not and cannot change this fact. We can have a whole separate conversation about whether we're living the best version of ourselves. We can act in awareness or not. We can live on remote, living by default, as Ernest Holmes would call it. You know, I always write, in my notes, I always write EH for Ernest Holmes. And then I think, well, maybe he was Canadian, eh? We are manipulated by either our own chemistry, external beliefs, and of course, family of origin, religious and cultural climate, lots of stuff to wade through, isn't there? But all of that stuff is not the truth of who we are. I've devoted a lot of my life to trying to corral my mind into identifying with some kind of ultimate definition for the word authentic. And maybe that's what we're all trying to do. We're trying to live our best lives the best way we know how, and for many people, that means seeking enlightenment, trying to fathom the ultimate authentic state. In our teaching, God is the power that moves us, and as such, we are imbued with this force that creates all form and shifts all matter. But somehow, there often seems to be a gap between this sweetest of beliefs and this thing called life. A gap between believing God is all across space and time and matter, and a life experience that looks challenging and limited. When I was young, I believed that one day I would wake up and I would just be able to fly and speak French. And oddly, as I grew older, I kind of carried that idea with me. I thought if I were able to fully embody these beliefs, I should be able to do that. So what's stopping me? What's stopping us? Maybe It's that we're trying to find something that's already there. We are, in essence, looking for ourselves, spirit in me, nudging me to remember me. This material world is powerful. It's intoxicating. It engages all of our senses, our physical being, and it looks pretty darned real. I've spoken before about an occasion where I mentally disappeared, a big wooden play set I'd built in the backyard for my sons. I sat in a tree and I stared at this thing until it disintegrated, and I was then able to just see grass and trees and fence and all the things that were there before. I was only able to actually sustain it for a few seconds, but that left a pretty big impression on me because I could see it was possible. But I still couldn't seem to mentally disappear all of the challenges in my life. And I think this actually led to something of an existential crisis, kind of an imposter syndrome. There are some people who believe that spending every possible moment in reflection and spiritual practice is the path to being real. And there are some who try to follow God's will through biblical interpretation. And others believe that declaring to the world through social media and whatever every single detail of their lives is being authentic. If you don't like me as I am, then... And so I've had quite a dance with all of that, because despite how different those approaches may be, I think they must all be correct. We are creative beings, and in the material world, perception rules. If I believe that the qualities of God are the ultimate attributes, then that's what I'm going to strive for in my life. When Mary Baker Eddy was asked, "What is God?" she responded, "God is incorporeal, divine, supreme, and infinite, mind, spirit, soul, principle, life, truth, love." These 7 synonyms for God illuminate what is authentic and give us a platform, a standpoint of principle from which to live our lives. But what happens when we fall off the platform? Are we no longer real? We're harshest on people when we put them on a pedestal and they fall off. And we're harshest with ourselves when we do the same. And this is a behavior that many of us can recognize in ourselves. But as Marianne Williamson wrote in her epic speech, our greatest fear is not that we are inadequate. It is that we are powerful beyond belief. So here we are on the brink of awareness. We believe that there's a power of greatness and of goodness that is manifest as every living thing, and therefore we're not separate from this power, we're imbued with it. And in these moments of awareness, we experience a lightness of being, a lifting, quickening of heart, mind, and soul, a glimpse into the full potential of our being. And then we look out the window and the material world kind of closes back in around us. Perception has a way of throwing its weight around. I was listening last Sunday to the CSL Kelowna, Canada service where Neil Klassen was speaking, and he talked a lot about perception. Now, Neil is a bona fide Coca-Cola fan. You might even call him a Coca-Cola addict. And he said, "Don't bother coming up to me after service and telling me how bad it is for me. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs, I do physical exercise, I eat well, and I drink Coca-Cola." So one day his friends decided to do that Pepsi challenge thing with him, and they blindfolded him, they gave him a salted cracker, and then they did the Coke Pepsi taste test, and 5 out of 5 times he chose Pepsi. So here's how this challenge really works. It all starts with a salted cracker, which makes you crave sugar. And Pepsi is sweeter than Coca-Cola, so people are inclined, they're far more likely to choose the sweeter drink. They have been primed for a specific outcome by the salted cracker. Exposure to one stimuli influences response to another stimuli. So this salted cracker becomes a wonderful metaphor for the ways that we have all been primed in our lives. And this is important because our beliefs and our responses create perception. But perception isn't truth. So when we're seeking our own authentic nature, we're trying to do it through a veil stitched together of all the stimuli we've ever experienced. And this works in reverse as well, because we look for salted crackers to validate our beliefs, don't we? Something is the truth for us because we believe it, not necessarily because it's the truth. But what is real is that we are perfect, whole, and complete. But external stimulus throughout our lives has told us otherwise and shifts our perception of truth. You see, salted crackers are what's stopping us from our authentic nature. We could start a group to ban salted crackers and see how that goes. So, we're authentic as we are right here, right now. We don't need to go to church or practice different rituals or even make sure our shoes are on the right feet. We talk about God expressing itself in and as and through us, but at the same time, we have free will. And we don't always make the most enlightened choices. So you can see how we might bounce around between our drive to find the truth of who we are and our own slanted perception of being real. And mankind has been trying to solve this for all of recorded history, and we haven't come to agreement yet. Klassen also talked about this, saying, historically, religion, science, and art have been the primary tools humans have used to try to discover the truth of themselves. But religion is not the truth, it's an interpretation of truth. And science is not truth, it's a process for seeking truth. And art is opinion, which is a perception of truth. Interpretations, process, perception, not truth. I'm sure that you've heard the saying, use it or lose it, and usually we're talking about, using muscles and keeping them strong and that kind of thing. In the neuroscience world, the expression is neurons that fire together, wire together. You didn't know that science was so sexy, did you? The more you play a tape in your mind, the stronger that neural pathway becomes, and this is how perception becomes real to us. Science says our brains have this built-in mechanism to erase unwanted thoughts. It's called synaptic pruning. Your brain is like a garden where synaptic connections grow between neurons. And glial cells are these little gardeners of the brain. They speed up signals between neurons, that's fertilizing the plants, as well as cleaning up the ones that are no longer needed, that's pulling the weeds. And all of this happens while we sleep, which is one of the reasons that's so good for you. These glial cells are scrubbing away with their little foaming scrub brushes all night, clearing space for newer and stronger connections. So in a nutshell, what you think about most will grow, and what you stop thinking about will go away. And this is literally the science behind the expression, what you water grows. It's also the science behind, where the heck was I on this page? When we water the memory of all of those salted crackers, we just continue to reinforce those perceptions. And if we water healthy practices, we reinforce what we want to see in our lives. And this is Science of Mind 101. So we've all been exposed to comments or events that derailed us. Salted crackers. When I was in elementary school, for example, I was in a province-wide public speaking contest, and I made it to the semi-finals and then lost. And the next day, a boy at my school, a boy I liked, said, "I knew you wouldn't win." And it took me 45 years to get back to it. And the trouble with comments like these is that at some level, we believe that other people know something we don't, so we believe them. And over time, we end up with very well-traveled neural pathways, which just make more work for those poor, underpaid glial cells. I think they should start a union. So the self-help world is full of ideas about how to reprogram our minds, and Science of Mind, of course, advocates affirmative prayer. But I think it's kind of cool to know that our physiology is actually designed to deal with these crackers in a beautifully organic way, like cracker compost. And here's a fun fact. Some of you may know that Einstein had wanted his brain donated to science upon his death. And so, of course, after he passed, they very politely sliced into it, and they wanted to see if there was anything significantly different. And what did they find? He had way more glial cells than most people. So he had less weeds and stronger plants. So Neil Klassen also talked about the period in history in which Holmes was doing his research. He was exploring and writing during a time when many great thinkers and philosophers were questioning the truth about dogma and ritual that were associated with religion. He read everything he could lay his hands on in philosophy and religion, and he was looking for those common threads between different ideas and beliefs. He was looking for those pristine drops of truth that resonated throughout all of these different teachings. And it distilled down to this: there is a power, and we can use it. So if you want to just eliminate all the rhetoric, there is a power, and we can use it. Even I can remember that. Originally, Holmes didn't intend this teaching to be a religion. He had to be kind of pushed into it. Nor did he expect that this exploration of these ideas would end with his writing. He was just looking for the truth that was fundamental across all spiritual teachings before everybody ate too many salted crackers. There's a power in the universe, and you can use it. That's the truth. And from the dawn of humankind, we have sought that truth. Klassen also pointed out, when humans try to understand the intentions of God, that's maybe where we get ourselves in trouble. We're trying to interpret, what does God want? So we end up with these rituals and dogma. And this is how we end up with religious groups advocating horrible consequence for those who don't line up with what they believe God is telling them. And different groups, of course, believing God is telling them different things. What Holmes tried to tell us is that God, or Spirit, or Bernie, or Josephine, whatever you wish to call it, has no intentions. God is not a human having human thoughts and emotions. God is a creative power that exists. We are imbued with that power, and we live in a material world that responds to that power. But we are humans with free will and a sensory system. We feel things. We get confused. We get misled. So we have all these layers of stuff to work out. But it's okay. Maya Angelou said, "I did then what I knew how to do, and now that I know better, I do better." This is how we grow a sense of self that enables us to stand tall as we are. In 1973, she did this really famous interview with Bill Moyers, and she said, this is a bit of a brain twister, "You're only free when you realize you belong no place. You belong every place, no place at all. The price is high, the reward is great." And I played with that for quite a while, and I realized it wasn't a thinking statement, it was a feeling statement. Moyers asked her, "Are you saying you belong nowhere and to no one?" And she replied, "I belong to Maya." And I didn't really understand what she was saying, but then I began to think about all the places that I've lived and the people whose lives that I've been a part of. We belong every place. And all the times I've moved and started over, we belong no place. And I realized that the constant has been my relationship with myself. We belong to ourselves. Because it's this relationship with self that is real. As soon as we interact with other people, all those masks that we've worn are in play in one way or another. But when we lay our heads down, it's just us and our relationship with ourselves. Holmes always said this teaching was open at the top. He understood that there was much more to be learned. You know, the science of quantum physics, for example, wasn't like a really hot topic in his time. But many of the ancient religions were founded on such principles, and Holmes was able to fathom cosmic law long before science could put it under a microscope. But even now, these ideas are still challenged. We human beings will defend our perceptions to the death, sometimes our own, sometimes others. Our perceptions should never be mistaken for the truth. And what is that truth? There is a power in the universe, and we can use it. This made me think, in countries further south, there exists a climate that we call tropical. And if we like that climate, we can get on a plane and go to it. We step out of the manufactured climate of the aircraft and we find ourselves in warm, moist air, fragrant with flowers and greenery and surrounded by all kinds of wildlife. We don't have to build a dome to sustain the climate or import plants and animals. We just get to step into it and enjoy it. So that's why the topic cultivating authenticity sounds funny to me. Cultivation suggests a process, but to think in terms of process is to believe in separation. Because once we know something, we cannot unknow it. So if we are divine creative beings and we know beyond a shadow of a doubt that there is an infinite and unlimited power and it is part of us, then by definition, we should have smooth sailing, right? Dang. There it is again. Consciousness meets the appearance of the physical plane, which is governed by certain physical laws, which in turn produce material evidence of our level of awareness. So, really, are we cultivating authenticity, or is it cultivating us, constantly nudging us into awareness? I don't know if any of you have ever finished an old piece of furniture that's been painted over a dozen times and it's just yelling at you to refinish it. And you look at all those layers and layers and layers of paints and you're like, ugh. But you get out that sander and you go after it. And it takes a lot of grit to get all that old paint off. But I think our journey to awareness is like this. We are the beautiful material that we were originally made of. And life has created many layers that we need to disappear in order to see our own authentic selves. And perhaps, if we were to fully accept that we are the essence of this universal power and say yes with arms open wide, we can realize it, accept it, know it, be the fullest version of our unique selves. And then we could fly while speaking French. Thank you. And so I know there is one power, one force field of realignment that I call God, expressing itself in and as and through me and everything. God is all there is and none beside. There is nothing outside of God. There is no spot that God is not. And I breathe that in. There is no spot that God is not. And so I breathe into the essence of that God, that essence of love and creativity and wonder and beauty, life, love, truth, principle. I breathe that in so that I may breathe out the very nature of my own authentic self. I breathe in God. I breathe out authenticity, authentic nature. As I speak this and as I say this, I feel it expand within me, for what is recognized and watered grows. And so I know I am expressing and I am bigger and more beautiful, and I express more, and I am more loving and more full, and I express more, and I step continually into the biggest version of my unique self. And knowing this, I just give great thanks. What a dream to be able to wake up to and discover that my life has been the sleep and the truth has been the dream, and now I am awake stepping into the dream. What a great gift that is. And so I say thank you. I say thank you for every teacher and every moment, every book, every scholar, every Ernest Holmes that has shown up on this planet to just keep reminding us, spirit nudging itself to remember itself in form. And I release these words into the law because I know that this and much, much more is already done in the mind of the One. And I ask you to join me in saying, and so it is.
Thank you, Liliane. Let's thank her again. Beautiful. Great reminders. And she looked at me and said, sorry, when she said we don't have to go to church, but that's the truth. The beauty of this teaching is you don't have to. It's a choice. And I thank you for choosing to be here today, and I thank Liliane for choosing to share her words with us and all the music that's been shared with us. And I also have a thank you from, oh wait, they want to sing a song first. Let them sing.
Well, if you want to do thank you things, we could sing afterwards.
Go for it. Sing.
Sing, sing. Wasn't that from Phantom of the Opera? Sing.
Yeah.
This isn't quite as large a song as Phantom of the Opera, but the sages all say, look in your heart, and you'll find the divine nestled there. Well, I looked deep inside, and all I could find was a paper heart covered in words I had written. Layers and layers of things that I thought, and many more layers of things I forgot. Cast your mind into the bottomless well of your heart, 'cause the truth is there's nothing to find. It is as it is, sacred and simple. We are divine. It is as it is, so sacred and simple. It is as it is, and we are divine. We are as we are, sacred and simple. We are as we are. We are divine. We are as we are, sacred and simple. We are as we are, and we are divine. We are as we are, sacred and simple. We are as we are, and we are divine.
So we can thank her once again. That was beautiful. And you wrote that, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
And-
Both
and-
songs
and
she
now
did,
you-
she wrote. Thank
Now
you.
you may speak.
Now I may speak. I am so grateful. What a beautiful morning. What an amazing way of reminding us of that. I love the line that our authentic self is cultivating us. That really spoke to me. I like that little twist on what we've been talking about this month. So thank you, Liliane, for wrapping us up with this idea of cultivating authenticity, and we can leave knowing it is cultivating in and through us. Beautiful. And so the thank you that I was going to share with you is from Big Brothers Big Sisters. That's who we tithed to a few months ago. And they said, on behalf of Big Brothers Big Sisters Mountain Region and the children and families we serve, thank you for your generous contribution. Your support allows our team to create lifelong friendships. A child in our community will soon have someone who can help make a positive difference in their life. Every child in New Mexico has potential, but too many children in our state are facing tough odds in reaching theirs. Your generosity is helping change that. Your gift will help littles in our community develop the skills and self-confidence they need to reach their full potential. We'd love for you to see how your gifts affect a child's life. If you have a few minutes, please visit our website and check out a few of the short videos to hear directly from our young people and their mentors about how the Big Little relationship has impacted their lives. Thank you again for your generosity and for believing in our mission. It's more than a gift, it's empowering potential. Nice line, isn't that? Yes. With sincere appreciation from Beth Williams Hoffman and David Sherman, directors of the Big Brothers Big Sisters. So I just love when we get the thank yous and we get to hear what an impact we're making just by sharing 10% of all that comes in and through this center. And so at this time, the last Sunday in March, we are giving to Action Programs for Animals. And there's their logo. Again, it's a place that's helping to provide a shelter for animals in place of euthanasia. We're able to do this through the tireless volunteer work of our rescue foster coordinators, foster families, and weekend adoptions. So that's where 10% of this month's tithe has been going. So we appreciate all that you give, all that comes through, and we can say our blessing together. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God in me. And what a great reminder we had of how the God in me is expressing. And we will sing, I am so blessed.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
And thank you again, Liliane, for blessing us with your words and your music today. We appreciate it. Yes, we can give her another hand. Thank you so much. And as you are able, if you would like, let's stand and sing our peace song and close out this beautiful morning.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as our center. Family, all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it be
welcome our new members to greet them.